yesterday. Today we are talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion in social enterprises. My name is Ndimane Raburi, and I am the founder of Youth Evolve. So today we're going to have a bit of fun. Yesterday we were dealing with a lot of theory on social entrepreneurship and just letting a little bit more about you guys and what you're trying to do. So I think today as well, I think that maybe people are writing or in classes or so, but it's okay. They'll get the recording. Okay, so what is DEI and why does it matter? Before I start, I usually want to converse with you guys. Just want to let's talk and hear how are you doing. So how are you? So. Milani.
No, I'm doing great. Everything is good.
All right. So. Okay, Tando. Okay. You guys don't want to talk. Okay. So DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. I want us today to talk, guys. At least fix your mics because today we're gonna talk. It's about talking today. So DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And diversity then refers to different or various identities, backgrounds, perspectives, and experiences that people bring to an organization. So yesterday we spoke on what is a social enterprise and why social enterprise is important, and how to go about creating an enterprise, how to be creative and innovative. Today we want to understand that now that we have our enterprises, then how do we expand to different people? How do we now cater to different people in different communities as well? Because when we were talking, we had spoken about that about expanding. I think one of you spoke about expanding their social enterprise to other provinces and that, or to other people and all of that. So for you to do that, you need to understand different cultures and how other people think and all of that. So then that's what diversity is. It's how different people identify, where they come from, their perspectives, and their experience, right? And then equity refers to being fair or fairness, justice that ensures that everyone has equal and access to opportunities and resources. So that would go about, yesterday we gave examples on some of the enterprises, and we mentioned the fact that, I mentioned the fact that Youth Evolve is focused on young people, especially those who are in rural areas and in township. That's understanding that those areas, there is a need and there's a level of equity that needs to be served because they are previously disadvantaged. There are certain things that you don't find that are there in town, like things that are in townships, things that are in urban areas that you don't find in townships. So it's trying to bridge that gap between township and the city or urban or suburbs and all of that. So that was the main aim of Youth Evolve, and you guys also shared some of how you'd like to bridge the gap of the need. So then inclusion refers to the sense of belonging and respect that people feel when they are valued and supported in an organization. So that is important. Once you already have people in your organization, you'd want them to feel included in decision making. then when you make decisions, you include them, you ask them, oh, how do you feel about this? And all of that. Also, yesterday when we were doing an exercise, we did a case analysis, right? So that case analysis is you asking your consumers, what is it that they would like? What is it that they want? So that is quite important for you as a business to include your customers and make them feel valued and needed. So today we're going to do an icebreaker. Sorry about that. I'm going to do an icebreaker today. So the purpose of this icebreaker is to test your knowledge and learn some interesting facts about different aspects of diversity and inclusion. Before we do the icebreaker, did you guys understand what diversity, equity, and inclusion is? If yes, can someone just explain from their own understanding what they got from what I just explained? Anyone who wants to answer? I'm not going to go on until you answer because I'm not going to be talking alone, guys. Anyone? This is what do you want to answer?
Are, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
If it's not a problem, can you go over again?
Okay.
Because I didn't hear anything because I was struggling with connection.
Okay. So I was explaining, right, that diversity, equity, and inclusion. So diversity is the different identities, like how a person identifies, like black, white, colored, right? And different backgrounds where they come from, whether they come from the rural area, they come from townships, they come from the suburbs. So that is diversity, and experiences. So also that experience of you coming from township, coming from a rural area, that is your experience. And it's a different experience from someone who was raised in a suburb, right? You'd have a different outlook in how you view life. So that is diversity. And then equity is the fairness and justice. So it's putting those that were disadvantaged into an advantage kind of a point. Mostly they speak about women, right? That most back in the days, women were disadvantaged with career choices. There were certain career choices that only women could do. And now they said, okay, so that we put the skills must balance. Already there's so many men in the industries compared to the women. So to balance the scale, then they say, okay, no, we need to do women empowerment, right? And same including with same as those policies like your BBBE, those policies, right? They were meant to balance the scales that since the job market has been a particular race, then we are trying to balance the scale that those that were previously disadvantaged might then now have an opportunity to work and have a say. So we're trying to balance the scale. So that's the equity and equality is two different things, right? So equality is us saying that we are equal, but equity is saying that we need to be fair. So when we say we need to be fair, then it means we need to find the way the unfairness happened. The unfairness happened where we find that certain people have more have better opportunity or better chance to making it than the other person. So how about we enable you as a particular person to make it as well? For an example, we could say that white people would have had a better chance or better opportunities to make it than um, you as a black person. So then to balance the scales is to have those policies that affirmative action, BBBEE, all of those to say that we would like to have a balance of that scale. So how is that important in social enterprise? Yesterday, as I said, we spoke about the need about like when you're opening a social enterprise, you should look at what exactly are you trying to solve, what need are you trying to solve, or yeah, what problem are you trying to solve basically. And you also need to look at those things. So I gave an example that with Youth Evolve, I look at the need in rural areas that um, people in rural areas, or young people to be specific in rural areas, do not have the resources, nor the knowledge or the skills um, that they need to survive or that they need to get through. So I found it important that then from what I've learned coming from the rural area and going to university and coming back again, I realized there is a need. And with the knowledge that I have, this is what I can do with the knowledge that I've learned elsewhere. So we did discuss, some of the things and stuff that you guys want to do. And then we said inclusion refers to feeling involved, like being like belonging. You feel that you belong in this group. You feel like you belong in the community. So it's also important as a social enterprise or as an entrepreneur that your customer feel respected, because that goes to respect, belonging, and all of that. You'd find different people in the walk of your social entrepreneurship. You won't necessarily have to be. There are social enterprises that are focused on specific groups, like ours that is focused on young people who are in rural and in township. But again, the experiences are different. It's not only Black people who are in rural townships, there are even other races in those. So understanding and instilling a sense of belonging, then that will help you as a social entrepreneur to be able to expand your mission or expand your territories, because we were speaking on how do you expand your territory as a social enterprise. How do you now open other branches and all of that by being diverse, by looking at equity, and by also making by including inclusion, like just having that sense of belonging within your team if you will have a team one day, or within the constituents that you would have. And why does DI matter, right? And why, like, because why does it matter? Because it can help. So, I was reading that wrong. How can it help your enterprise, right? How can it help you be or do more, right? Um, by attracting and retaining diverse talents and customers. So obviously, some of you are trying to build social enterprises where you will have customers, right? Remember, yesterday we spoke about that some enterprises are for profit, some are non-profits, and some are corporations, different kinds of social enterprises, right? So the importance of having these principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion, it will help you to attract a diverse talent. In your team, if you were to have a team, you'll have different people coming from different places. One of the strategies I can tell you as well, I did mention this yesterday on Youth Evolve, we have different people coming from different backgrounds, places, experiences, and all of that. And that came about, I think, in our second year of running. the organization. And that, in a way, gives a different perspective, different kind of programs as well, because certain programs that we started in Thoyando, where we started our organization, were specifically for that area. But now, when we are looking at other areas, we see the need that exists in other areas as well. So that also helps being how DI matters. It also helps drive innovation, creativity by leveraging diverse perspective. So perspective is quite important in your entrepreneurial journey. You need to understand different perspectives and ideas because um, we come from different places. Some of you guys were saying, oh, you come from township. Some of you were saying, no, you come from the city. Some of you would say, oh, no, I come from, you know, rural areas. So that is perspective. Where you come from builds a perspective of how you view and have like that's like it builds perspective on how you view the world, basically. And it will also help to enhance social impact by addressing needs and challenges of diverse communities. So your social impact will be greater are if you are someone who understands diversity, if someone who understands equity, if you're someone who also understands inclusion, right? So I hope I kind of like made you understand. Did you get it, Tiseto?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Can you explain from your understanding?
Um, okay, from my understanding, I will take it as a market research. Understanding DEI is it's more like doing a market research to understand in an environment where you can establish your business, you do a market research, and you when including the DEI, it's more like doing finding who are your target markets, their background, their perspective, their experience, and also putting it into a business perspective. If I sell this thing within this community, will people actually purchase it? And also within the enterprise, if you're gonna have employees, equity where fairness involves it includes fairness, whereas everybody has equal opportunities. And within inclusion is where sense of belonging. If us, for an example, participating in Youth Evolve, you give us a sense of belonging. And also, I realize it's not only for varsity students. Also, you indicated that those who are outside university but around Western Cape can
Cape
come
Town.
and participate. So even doing these sessions, you want to give us the sense of belonging that even though I don't have educational background about business, but understanding this will give me a perspective of where this is going and where can I gain from this, the respect, the equal opportunity for all. So that's basically my understanding about this.
Perfect, perfect. Well done, well done. Round of applause for Tiseto. Anyone else who wants to give us their understanding of the terms that I just gave today? Anyone else? Okay. We're gonna be doing a diversity trivia. So it's an icebreaker to test your knowledge and to learn some interesting facts about different aspects of diversity and inclusion, such as culture, history, geography, language, etc. You won't need a pen because there's a link that you will go to. I don't know if you guys can click this link, but don't click it now. Um, you will have 10, well, not 10 minutes. I should have edited this out. You will have 2 minutes to do this activity. Will be interesting to get. Definitely, we'll cover that one out. So you'd have 2 minutes to fill this activity. It's about 15 questions. Sorry, I didn't edit this part. So you have 2 minutes and you have 15 questions. So it's really like simple questions, honestly. It's like general knowledge of I want to understand how your understanding and perspective of South Africa, basically, like where you, yeah, that's what I want. So at the end of the activity, you'll share your answers with the rest of the group. I don't know. I think we'll just review together. I think we're just going to review together that. Okay. Quickly check it. Okay. So can you guys click this? Can you click it? Is it clickable? Can you guys click it? The quiz?
Yes.
It's clickable, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm giving you guys 2 minutes. It's actually 2 minutes. When you start that whole thing, it counts 2 minutes. So click it and do the quiz. It's 15 questions. It's basic questions, really. Yeah, every one of you needs to do it. I will put you into groups, and then you guys, you will discuss how whatever, like some of the questions will help each other to do the quiz. Okay, we're gonna start now. It's 2 minutes. It's timed, so it's important to be time sensitive. Okay, we're gonna go to the groups now. Wait.
Then oh,
Who was saying the time?
Indeed, the 2 minutes was not enough. It kicks it out. We needed like 5 minutes. I was on 7 already, and this thing at 12. No. No, I'm not happy.
That is general knowledge, guys.
And you have to read them like twice. You can like understand what exactly they want from you. Huh?
Well, as much as it's general knowledge, well, you need to read to be sure as to what exactly are you answering. So the 2 minutes was not enough.
No, I actually did it on purpose because I wanted to see how fast can you answer certain things. Because the first 10,
Mhm.
like 10, it's very simple. So a lot of you guys got total for that. But then 11
Okay.
to 14, that was a bit, some people didn't get. I'm trying to just that I can't see who because it's anonymous. So only you can tell me how much you got. But most people got 1 to 10.
But did people also answer all the 12 questions?
Well, on my side, I managed to answer all 11 questions. So
Ooh.
one, yeah, I did
Answered
not
11.
manage. Yeah.
Okay, so oh my God. Okay, so the pass rate. So you guys ready for the pass rate? So yeah. Okay, there's one who got 79%.
Oh, no, I got 14. I got all 14 correct.
Really?
Yes, I got 14 correct.
I think it's this one. Does it write
Yeah.
correct? Okay, let me see. This one.
Let me
22.
let me save my responses. But here it's saying I should log in.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm using the work device, but it's fine. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so guys, from that activity, what did you guys learn, and whatever some of the things you didn't know that you think it's something we can talk about? Because well, it's general knowledge, but some of the things you might not know about them. So we just wanted to find and learn some interesting facts, different aspects of culture, history, geography, and language. So let's talk, guys. What did you guys learn from that activity? What did you guys learn? Let's talk. Guys, what did you learn?
Okay. For me, I'm very much interested in number 6, which
Okay.
says which of these is the most common first language spoken by South Africans?
Number 6.
Yeah,
Well, that is simple though.
yes, it's simple, but
Yeah.
I'm very interested because I don't know as to well what exactly okay, because in my view
Mm-hmm.
we're saying first language
First language. Okay, let me
that
check
is
what the
most
question says.
spoken
Okay,
by
which
South
of this is the
Africans.
most first language spoken by South Africans? First language. Okay, that is quite interesting actually.
Yeah,
I didn't see it like
That,
that.
I
yeah.
guess depends when you did matric. If you did matric in the 90s, you will know that the first language means the first. So some of us took English as additional third language.
Mm,
So even when you see it there, you're
mhm.
probably not interested in it, because I think the defining factors or the differentiating factor is a matter of a first language, because I was also confused that English, most of us probably speak it, but it's not our
Yeah.
first language. So the mere fact
Oh.
that it's a first language, probably I just went with the highest population amongst them, and Zulu would come the first in terms of population.
Came to the session doing. Oh, that is interesting. Someone was like, it means Baniluvuyo. mentioned it means mother tongue. I didn't actually look at it like that, but yeah, thank you for highlighting that. Anyone who has any input or anything that they learned from this activity?
I think from my side, it's quite of differentiating the difference between what is common and what is most of traditional things that we actually, or not traditional to say, but most of our heritage things that we sort of not talk too much about, because if you look at, like you say, up to question 11, it's practically most common things, and the rest is a knowledge base where it's either you're interested in the culture, heritage, or whatever the case that enable you to do. But once it's explained, like, it takes me a long time to understand, okay, they're actually asking for vuvuzela, and then I'm like, it's really something that you have to talk about in a different language, not that you speak about it. So the first 11 was predominantly on daily basis kind of things that we deal with.
Definitely.
Oh, and number one, we no longer have 11 official languages. There are now 12, including sign language. Yes.
Oh, thank you for that.
We are now 12.
Oh, sign language is now official.
Yes, it's an official language now.
Okay, then thank you for raising that one. That is valuable. Okay, anyone else from our lovely exhibitors? Luvuyo.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, the exercise was interesting. I've learned a lot from it. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
All right. 12. I'm not sure. 12 for inclusion. Victor, 12 for inclusion.
You know, when you explain your I in that thing, is a sense of inclusion and belonging. So it was made 12 predominantly because of that inclusion factor. Which it was. He thinks, he says that they are the descendant of Africa, as they say, or South Africa, so whichever option, whichever perspective you look at, and it was made for that purpose.
Definitely. So you see, guys, we are learning. I'm also learning from you guys. They haven't added Khoisan, right, to the official languages. Is Khoisan
that was the first one to be printed on the money after English and Afrikaans.
Oh, okay.
South African logo, the department has the.
So that is Khoisan. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. You see, guys, let's learn. Let's learn. Okay. We're going on with another practice. So, value exploration. What matters to you? We want to see like what matters to you. Now that we have an understanding of what diversity, equity, and inclusion is, the purpose of this session is to help you explore your own values and beliefs across different dimensions of diversity, such as gender, generation, ethnicity, race, religion. So just to give a bit of a background, under diversity, we said that it's like backgrounds, experience. So these are the examples of what diversity is: gender, generation, ethnicity, race, and religion. So these are the examples. So values are principles and standards that guide your actions and decisions in life. They reflect what is important and meaningful to you. Values can be influenced by many factors such as your family, cultures, education, and religion. So when we're explaining that, it's important to have different perspective, because where you are raised, kind of you have a different perspective because of where you have been raised, and they also change over time. I gave an example yesterday about The fact that when I was back home, there were a lot of things that I didn't know. And when I went to university, I realized there are certain things I now know that I think would be valuable if I share it with people from where I come from. So that changes over time based on where we are in life, who we associate ourselves with, and where we go, basically. So if you were to go to a different country, right now, your values might change based on what is acceptable in that particular country and what is not acceptable. Values can affect your work style and preferences, such as how you communicate, collaborate, lead, and learn. They can also impact how you relate to others who have a different or similar values. So in this session, you will participate in a discussion. So we're going to have a discussion, right? A reflection exercise that will help you identify and articulate your values and beliefs. You'll also learn about values and beliefs of others in your group, in this group. And we'll use some of this question from, we got this from an Insight article to guide this conversation and reflection. So we're going to ask, right? I'm going to be asking this question. I'll be the first one to answer, and everyone else is expected to answer as well. So what are some of the values that you learned from your family or culture? Before we go into this exercise, you might ask yourself, why is it important for you as a social entrepreneur to understand values and all of that? It's important to have to understand values basically as a social entrepreneur. That remember yesterday when we were doing the case analysis, that you need to remember your core, like what is the reason for why did you start what you started and all of that. So it's important for you to remember your core, and to do that, it's you understanding your values, what you stand for. And when you know what you stand for, it's easier enough to also see what the society needs, or what in your community, and what is it that you can bring that brings value. So what are some of the values that you learned from your family or culture? Okay, I'm going to start. What are some of the values that I learned from my family and culture? Well, I grew up in I would say like it's a semi-rural. It's not deep rural, but it's rural as well. And what I learned around where I grew up is that I was raised by a community, basically, like raised by different people. Personally, my mother died at like age 8, so I was raised by my grandparents. But as well, the community also raised me, so I understood the importance of community, the importance of being a community or being part of a community. So that is what I've learned from my family or culture. Who else wants to go? Not actually who else. We're all going to talk. Who wants to go next? What are some of the values you learned from your family or culture? Okay, I'm going to start calling. Milani, can you please start? Milani, or whoever is ready to start, can you please start with the discussion? What are some of the values you have learned from your family or culture?
Okay, thank you first.
Okay.
The values that I learned from my family, firstly, and I think this one includes for everyone, is respect. And also another thing is I would say I was also raised by a community, because in my community, in the community that I live in, I have a twin brother. So I think we only the twins at the moment. So we known by the community, like everybody knows. If you can go there and be like, where do the twins stay? They will show you. So also I learned that every person that is older than me, it's a parent. You address them as like a granny, grandpa. That's how I address all the people. And yeah, that's what I learned from my community.
That's good. That's good, Milan. This is so sorry. Who else wants to go?
Okay. I'll also share my view.
All right, Tambo.
Yeah, because I come from like a family, like there's a lot, like we are a lot, youngsters, cousins, and everyone grew up in the same house, So like when you're raised like by your grandparent, I think it's different, because
Definitely.
I come from a family where we were just taught that attend school, do good in school, put in the hard work, So even the young ones, we in the community, we are well known, like for in terms of like these guys, like all of them, they are in school, If maybe you study, you get your qualification, maybe okay, you don't find the good job you're supposed to get, you have to go back to school again, try to find something else and stuff like that, So
Yeah.
my values, like my family values, and like the community as well, because in the community, like we are not known like for those kids who are troublesome and stuff like that. We just go to school, we just do what we do in a good way, we follow rules and principles,
Yes.
So for me, I think it's that, I've benefited through the community and also through like the family values, because we keep on doing that. Even the ones that come after me, the young ones, we don't have any like some sort of like problems, Just attend school, do good in school, and then the rest, you'll see the rest as time goes on. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Who else wants to go? Yeah, you can go. Go on. I see a hand up. Okay. Anyone else who wants to give it a try?
I just wanted to chime in real quick. I'm not going to be contributing anything of my own. I just wanted to ask if it's not possible that some of these values that we could have learned from our families or communities might extend beyond, say, either respect or something as material as like focusing on education and work aspirations, but could it maybe extend to something like, say, one's faith or the idea or the sense of responsibility to your fellow man, things like that?
Okay, that's perfect. Okay. So how do your values influence your work style and preferences? Because we have also gotten to understand that believing in, for an example, as I said, I believe in being part of a community, being part of this something bigger, because that's how I was raised, in a community where you are told that we can do more together. So that is how also my work style is like, because I have this technique that I love, collaboration. I like working in terms because I understand the sense and the importance and the value of community. And I'm just going to give one person to comment on that. How does your value influence your work style or your preference? How you were raised? How does that influence your work? Anyone wants to give that one a try? Anyone? Guys, anyone who wants to give it a try, okay, you can.
Hi. So I was raised on the principles of actually the exact opposite as you, the principles of self-reliance and independence, and the idea that if there's a problem you are facing, you need to solve it, right? So the idea was always that you need to fix things. You need to take care of things yourself. And so as a work style, as I've now gotten older into the workforce, I've come to understand that I approach problems thinking of what I can do to solve them. So I center what I'm capable of rather than what a team is able to do together. So relying only on myself.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so you can also just ask yourself those questions. How do you express your values in your daily life? How do you handle situations when your values conflict with others? Because as you realize that we have different values, so it is important that you understand, other people's values and respect them, because they might be different from how you were raised, based because we were raised in different places, different families, by different people as well. So we're done today. What did you learn and how did you apply it? So the purpose of this session is to wrap up the workshop by summarizing the main points and takeaways. In this workshop, you learned about what is DEI and why does it matter for your startup social enterprise, how to explore your own values and beliefs across different dimensions of diversity, and how to communicate effectively, respectfully with people who have different perspective, experience, or background. We didn't do this part. We're supposed to do how to design and implement a multicultural initiative that promote a day DEI in your community. Basically, it goes to what we did yesterday, the case analysis. So that's why I just skipped it. So here now, you'll answer some of the questions. I'm just going to ask one of this. It's what are some of the key insights or learnings that you've gained today? What are the challenges or opportunities that you face in applying DEI in your work or your life? I think what I would like to ask is, well, and you can answer anything that you see here. What are some of the actions or goals that you would take or set to improve your diversity, equity, and inclusion skills and practices? What are some of the resources and references that you will use or recommend for further learning or action on DI topics? So on this one, the last one, to just answer this last one, what are some of the resources that you would use or recommend, or can recommend? The internet is your friend. I think everything these days is on the internet. So the information, you can just look at it up on the internet. There are podcasts as well. YouTube, they do post stuff like that you can just, expand your knowledge on that matter. So anyone with like an input or what they say they've learned today? Okay.
I just wanted to say in answering that last one as well, wouldn't there be also value in using the internet to maybe find people from these different cultural backgrounds and contexts and maybe just asking them? I think that, or at least from what I've found, there's more value in like personal contact, because then they can provide context behind some of the information that you find online.
Okay. Any other input or questions or like what you learned? Okay, guys, we're gonna close. So any inputs, just say something before we close. Okay. So today we're done. We learned about diversity, equity, and inclusion. We'll still continue with our workshops. Tomorrow we will be learning on marketing. It's gonna be someone else who's going to do that. You're gonna learn on marketing, how to market now your business. So now we've built an enterprise, right? We now know how to include, and we now understand equity, and we are now understand diversity. So now we want to promote our business. So we next tomorrow, same time, you will be learning on that. Someone else is going to be doing the session with you guys on specifically because we use Canva for nonprofit. So we're going to be specifically using that platform to show you how we do our posters and all of that. So someone's going to take you through that on how to promote now your business and making a simple, poster for your business. So thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate your time. Your time is valuable, and we look forward to meeting with you tomorrow.